hell with us. There's a crazy woman in one of the rooms. She tried to strangle Danny.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Are you out of your mind? Like Jack's earlier eye contact camera taunt, a little slow tonight, Lloyd. This line carries a second meaning for the audience, a taunt to their lack of comprehension. It's a comedic aside to himself, since he's the one out of his mind. In a real-time cut, we transition to Halloran's TV, where a broadcast informs us that a winter storm has struck Colorado, dumping 10 inches of snow, reported on Channel 10 News. The TV broadcast is subtle. It emerges from what seems like a dead signal, starting with a cut to black as though Halloran or Danny has shined it on, somehow bypassing commercials. The graphics contain subtle details. A winged figure moves overhead, a modern Thunderbird, while the animating boxes maintain continual asymmetry. The logo, slightly off-center, depicts an antenna tower flanked by mirrored tens. Typed keys animate across multiple newsroom monitors, culminating in an asymmetrical newscaster framed within a subtly asymmetrical TV that appears symmetrical, much like Ullman's office. Even the Pan Am logo briefly peeks out from behind palm trees, a millisecond gesture evoking 2001: A Space Odyssey's Orion spaceline. Every element of the broadcast, blue-hued, and the TV itself is asymmetrically matched. Mirroring the Boulder apartment, Halloran's room contains a worship tree made from LPs, a pair of lamps, the TV, and a painting of a nude woman. Unlike the Torrances, Halloran is not ruled by monochromatic graphics or text, but by bold, colorful imagery. Refer to the above stills. The ratios and frames between the TV and the framed painting overlap during the zoom. The move is remarkably complex if watched carefully. His walls even share the same color as Ullman's office. A reverse shot of his bed reveals a similar image of a nude woman above the bed frame. Halloran worships haloed women, placing them above all other imagery and devices. As The Shining begins, a deeper shot of Halloran on his bed reveals that the painting behind him has disappeared. Are these images shined? Does Danny's signal interrupt them? Or has Halloran entered a mirrored world where the images no longer exist? Kubrick uses the two differing nudes as a reflection of the two women Jack and Danny are about to encounter, one a future occurrence for Jack, while Danny's has already taken place, replayed as a memory. Notice Halloran's pajama pattern. It closely resembles the bedspread in room 237's bedroom. However, his pattern is banded with inner and outer arrows that flow at angles, similar to the TV's magnified patterns. The chinlay design on room 237's bed is an animated transformation of both the TV pattern and Halloran's pajama weave. The music cue signals that a shining is occurring. Halloran's vision merges with Danny's gaze, marked by a key shot at eye level, before quickly cutting to Jack's gaze, linking them through editing. Jack is entering the deeper parts of room 237, the space beyond the mirrored double doors to the left of the exterior doors, labeled 237. If you analyze the radial floor pattern from Danny's first entrance into room 237, the design begins to make sense. However, our orientation subtly reveals a spatial anomaly. The layout of the outdoor corridor and this room overlap in an illogical way. A door visible in the corridor outside is false. It has no corresponding placement inside. Danny shines his consciousness and Jack's into Halloran's. Halloran becomes a broadcasting conduit. Room 237 mimics the hotel setting seen at the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey. There's a strange logic to this connection. If Danny descends from the Star Child, the hotel slyly duplicates Bowman's memory, which inspired the alien intelligence to conjure the ending bathroom scene of 2001. In room 237, the monolith has become the window, now covered by Navajo chinley weaving. The chinley pattern, specific to a regional geography, carries dense angled asymmetries with origins in the Triassic period, reflecting their storytelling traditions. The pattern is non-linear, almost lightning-like, and consumes an entire wall, inset perfectly. An animated version of the chinley design appears on the bed. Walking between these patterns feels like passing through a portal or gateway. Kubrick meticulously frames this unusual room to emphasize its critical focal point. There are no other doors here. The Navajo-inspired patterns dominate, yet the bathroom's tiled floor marks an abrupt end to these designs. The tile pattern mirrors the double yellow lines on a road, metaphorically meeting their conclusion. The floor also echoes the outline of the mirror opposite Jack's sleeping position. When Jack steps into the bathroom, he literally steps into his reflection on the floor. The mirrors in the room converge toward its center, amplifying the sense that this is a focal point for soul absorption. Jack pauses at the edge of the bathroom, contrasting Danny, who later completes the journey to the bathtub. Danny avoids being captured by the mirror, subtly demonstrating his escape from the room's pull. Jack pauses at the bathroom's edge in fear, as Danny's earlier experience foreshadows a violent assault mirroring Jack's own aggression toward his son, referenced during the doctor's interview. A mirrored lightning form, capped by a glowing orb, dominates the bathroom ceiling, emphasizing that this room functions as a portal for energy transference. A woman appears naked, peering at Jack. She rises and walks to the center of the bathroom before pausing. This third nude female figure, now animated and conjured, is a clear reference to Halloran's nudes. Standing at the focal point of the room, surrounded by several mirrors, she waits for Jack's inevitable death spiral. Observe the asymmetrical, squared, defocused room behind Jack, contrasted with the curved, seductive, sharply focused portal before him. Kubrick's metaphors seamlessly extend into the photographic composition, emphasizing the tension between these contrasting visual elements. As Jack begins kissing the woman, he pauses, catching his reflection in a mirror. He no longer sees a beautiful woman, but the old hag. In a masterful stroke of storytelling nuance, the camera whip pans, and we find ourselves outside the mirror world of the hotel. Jack's soul is now separated, with the nude beauty trapped inside the mirror and himself ensnared by the hotel. The hotel no longer needs to deceive him, as he has lost all sense of self. As Jack departs, he no longer recognizes which side of the hotel's mirrors he occupies. He is now a ghost, like the others. Meanwhile, Danny shows us, and Halloran, his original view, as if he is DJing their perceptions. This reveals the ugly woman rising from the tub, shot from Danny's eye level, contrasting with Jack's perspective. Danny was not fooled. The disparity in ages between the inner mirror, the beauty, existing in the past, inhabited by the partygoers, and the outer mirror, the hag closer to the actual age of her decayed body, represents differing scales of time and timelessness, ever and forever. Who is she? She is the changing woman, the most revered Navajo deity, Lehi. She is so called because she never remains in one condition. She grows to be an old woman, then becomes young again, passing through an endless cycle of lives, changing but never dying. Navajo Legends, Muse 1897. Her emergence from water ties her to the first view of water, the mirror where Jack is headed. The room and its bathroom feature an interior color scheme unseen elsewhere in the film and never seen again. The carpeting leads towards the commode in a reverse flow resembling altar stairs, an animated echo of the hallway's forms. The color scheme mirrors the road from the opening scene. The double yellow line meets at the floor's convergence point, with the sun's flare mirrored at the top, and green forest tones surrounding the walls. This aligns with the Boulder apartment's bathroom layout. Consider the color scheme carefully. Green and purple, summaries of yellow, blue, and red blue, flow into the bathroom's yellow and green. What are the missing colors? Red and blue, exactly what Jack is wearing. Add his skin tone and he becomes red, white, and blue. He walks backward from this mirror. The hallway is now darkly lit, unlike before, with an unseen light angled across the corridor, illuminating only the door. Was the bull's taunting arrival part of this mirror world? Or has the hotel ceased lighting the carpet, its lure complete? Jack is now a walking murder-suicide, in the final stages of soul entrapment. A dissolve makes it seem as if Halloran's light is the source of the shine on room 237's door. The ceiling in Halloran's den is angled like the kitchen from Summer of 42, connecting it as a portal with the TV. An ibex trophy head looms over the room. Compare this to the black and white tomb-like bathroom Wendy has, which Halloran does not share. Jack backs away from the hotel door, ape-like, a physical manifestation of regression. This is the film's first backward movement. Meanwhile, Halloran's attempt to cool the overlook is futile. All circuits are down. Jack returns to the apartment and lies about the room's occupant. We now catch him shifting from sarcasm to outright duplicity. Lying enforces an internal mirror, a psychological space where truth seems plausible yet elusive. Kubrick deliberately employs English in a way that decays its meaning and usefulness, making it a clever component of horror. To further the mirroring nuance, Jack briefly appears as a reflection in the mirror when the apartment door opens, before being seen as fully corporeal. Once you dismiss his version of events, no other explanation remains. Wendy wants to leave the Overlook, Jack does not. He flies into a primordial rage, proclaiming, "I could really write my ticket." Meanwhile, Danny stares directly at us, the audience, shining across our plane. He revisits the interview scene and foresees his own future scrawl, as well as two versions of Jack framed between the blood-frothing elevators. This scene is similarly framed to its first appearance, but now shifted slightly left. Danny's eyes, carefully shot to avoid showing the lower whites, are shaping like the elevator's radial floor indicators. He is connecting with the two crucial red elements that will end the film. Jack, fully disengaged, departs the apartment, but not before glancing menacingly at the audience. He scatters shiny, ringed objects on the floor as he leaves. The kitchen, oddly, seems to have illogical access points, as illustrated by Jack's re-entry into the lobby's perimeter. He pauses at the first pattern, his head crossed in the film's opening scene, the Navajo double diamond pattern, now mirrored. This wall image itself duplicates the lake's reflection from the opening shot. To the left of the frame, a corridor appears where it shouldn't be. Ullman's window should be accessing outdoor light and fauna. This proves the window's image is conjured. Jack hears distant music and sees physical evidence of a party. Dull, unshiny balloons and party favors scattered across the lobby, echoing his earlier scattering of objects. For the first time, moonlight appears, connecting Danny and Halloran. They share this light, an ethereal link bridging their experiences. Entering the ballroom, Jack appears unnoticed, merely glanced at by the wealthy partiers, but recognized by Lloyd, who pours him another stiff round of yellow fluid. Remembering to bring his money this time, money that exists only in this mirrored realm, Jack is promptly informed that his money is no good here. The phrase, "orders from the house," is a deliberate nudge to the audience, signaling that the house is alive, sentient, and aware. Lloyd explicitly names the hotel as a character, granting it a consciousness through language. Jack joins the soiree and is promptly doused with advocat, a yellow cocktail, a reversal of the yellow ball Jack once threw. The hotel frequently employs yellow in its manipulations. This time, instead of Jack dipping bacon into yolk, he is the one being dipped. Observing both shots of the ballroom reveals a right-to-left mirroring of interviews. The waiter wipes Jack from the right side of the interview, symbolizing a reversal of roles. The waiter then beckons Jack to the men's room to clean himself. Jack recognizes the waiter as Grady, the caretaker infamous for murdering his family, an event described in detail by Ullman. Grady, who visibly belongs to a black and white world, denies any knowledge of his own history, but claims he has always been at the hotel. Delbert Grady serves as a caricature of the English origins of the hotel, almost a parody worthy of a Warner Bros. Cartoon. As a messenger, Grady has no consciousness separate from the hotel. He is dead, yet his role persists as part of the hotel's collective identity. Jack, still alive, inhabits only one of his halves. As Jack moves toward his fate, the concept of duality becomes more pronounced. There are two Gradys, Delbert and Charles. Likewise, Jack is to become an infinite blankness, split into two identities in servitude to a nightmare of spiritual control. The name Jack, soon to be shared, signifies this division. The hotel addresses him formally as Mr. Torrance, avoiding personal descriptors like Jack or Dad, which better encapsulate his split personas. The hotel effectively marries his name, taking ownership, while his other self awaits a new first name. The party is a ghostly production conjured by the hotel as a seductive atmosphere, yet it eschews any illusion of class warfare. Jack is invisible to the revelers because he is a servant, a slave to the hotel. Notice the logic of the entrance doors and Jack's apparent familiarity with the path to the bathroom, where he is to be cleaned. The bathroom's spatial layout is an illusion. The floors of the anteroom beyond the ballroom do not match those of the bathroom's anteroom. The spatial logic stretches impossibly, extending the ballroom's presence into the bathroom. Look carefully at the bathroom ceiling. It mirrors the exact linear activity of the ballroom ceiling at its center point. The bathroom itself is unusual, shaped like a T, with stalls extending to the left and right at pure right angles, banded in red. There are no doors on the stalls, and they function not as portals, but as red rectangles intersecting at right angles, creating a closed, disorienting space. This could be labeled Jack's second death scene. The spilling and cleaning ritual is a clear attempt to strip Jack of his color. Yellow, which dominated every frame of the previous bathroom, gives way to the next stage of color animation, with Jack progressing toward black and white. Consider the yellow world they left seconds earlier, with its gauzy luminosity and diffused lighting, contrasted with the glaring red and white of this new room. The gold ballroom, symbolic of grandeur, is distilled into this extreme color palette, shifting from ancient forms to the modern sterility of the commode. The Shining acts as an animated film in our memories, with this red bathroom representing the next animated state, the blood-red future of the elevator scene. The porcelain and tile are white, ceramic, while the red is painted, a reminder that it was once fluid, stopping abruptly at a defined line. This men's room, conspicuously unused by any of the ballroom's participants, despite their drinking, is laden with reversals and mirrors that reflect Grady's presence. The bathroom's squared patterns contrast sharply with the curves and inset squares of the bedroom's bathroom. Patterns repeat and build, from the Navajo-inspired Lamat carpet to the knob key hallway designs. Again, the mirror becomes central. Jack isn't looking at Grady, he's staring at himself, or the Grady that exists within the mirror. Jack may no longer recognize himself, trapped yet still alive. Grady, by contrast, is no longer alive. His name, Charles, belongs to the living Grady from Ullman's story, but the Grady in the mirror has no living counterpart standing with Jack. If we could look directly into the mirror, we might see no Grady at all. Or perhaps we would see a decrepit ghoul like the hag, a corpse with its head blown off, echoing the unseen off-screen tragedy of Ullman's tale. This is the place where Jack remains trapped, endlessly fleeing from the hag. Notice Jack's stunned reaction as he looks at the mirror's occupants. He's horrified by what he sees. The diamond patterns shift from the anteroom walls to the bathroom floor, rendered in blood-red tones that mirror the Navajo-inspired patterns from the lobby corridor and floor. This bathroom, like the death scene bathroom, offers no alternate escape. It serves as a focal point, a dead end, much like the Overlook itself at the end of its isolated road. Kubrick's language in The Shining is precise. Grady reframes his own murders with the propagandistic term correction. I corrected them, equating Jack's impending murders to mere talking. This chilling renaming underscores the psychological manipulation at the heart of the hotel's control.
Sleeping pills help me get back to your arms. Cheap sex and sad films help me get where I belong. I think you're crazy. Maybe I think you're crazy. Maybe die.